Hey guys, looking for that perfect rise and hate for cinematic or trailer impacts? We have Phoenix by VIR2 Instruments. This is a Kontakt library. It can actually run in the free player, and it has 4 layers, and you can actually even load your own samples. Let's dive in. I'm going to show you what's inside, how you can design that perfect impact.
Rise, heat, and whoosh. The DNA of Cinematic Impact by Phoenix.
Okay, so I have Phoenix loaded, and as you can see, we have the 4 layers. Let's have a quick listen to some of the presets before we dive in. Very cool, right? So what we have here is these 4 layers, and you can decide for each of the layers if they're rise and hit, or we have a whoosh. So this is done with the toggle here. So you can see on the right, we have R plus H or whoosh. And you can also see that you can load your own samples. I'm going to show you that later. So now for each of these layers, if they are R plus H, rise and hit, then you see that it is split between the rise and the hit, of course. And what we also have is the keyboard mapping. We have key switches, and you can use these key switches to trigger the entire sequence here or just individual parts of it. So if I'll go here with my complete control, you can see the colors. And you can see that we have the first one here, that's the orange. It will just run everything. Right, but then I can run only the rise or only the hits. That's it. So if you want to just audition that part, and then you can audition the impact, the hit. Pretty cool. Then, of course, you can run each of these parts or components by its own. So you can run just the first rise, or just the first impact, or the first hit. Right, so we can run each of the layers. We can run just the rise part or just the hit part, and everything is very, very easy to use. Love that idea because you can audition that. But there's another feature here which is really cool. So sometimes you don't really want to wait all the time to discover that you don't like the combination of stuff. So you have a way to just audition moments before the hit. Pretty cool, and this will give you a lot of flexibility when you're designing the sounds, so you don't need to run everything from the beginning every time. Then we also have the number of beats. So we have beats or we have seconds, and you can adjust that to whatever project you're working. So right now it's 8 beats. Let's get that faster, like 4 beats. And you will see loading. It means that they are loading those samples again. They're adjusting those so they match your BPM. So now let's take a closer look. So for each of these parts, if it's a rise and hit, you'll see that we have the name here, and you'll see that you can turn it on and off. Of course, we have volume, we have panning, and we have this attack, and this is a fade in. And for the hit part, you'll see that you have both attack and the release. So it's a kind of fade in and fade out, and you can adjust that. We also have, of course, the pan and volume for the hit as well. And you can see the sample that is loaded here, and you can audition different samples. Just click those left and right arrows, and you can change that to a different sample. And let's audition that. And something else. And what you can also do is you can do mirroring. So you'll see that button here. Let's click that. And now we have mirroring of the rise and the hit. So they are mirrored here. Let's try that. And everything together. Cool. So now let's go and change the last one here, the last part, into a whoosh. So you can see that the sample is just spread across the entire, in the entire span of beats. So it goes from start to finish, but you can adjust that. So what we can do, you'll see that start point, you can just shrink that and then move it around. Decide where do you want this to be. Maybe you just want this to be at the beginning here. Let's audition that. Nice. And again, you can select different samples here. Right, and all this is very basic stuff. Let me show you how you can load your own samples. What you can do is, let's open up my browser here. I'm going to, in Cubase, I have my browser, and I'm going to just drag and drop something here. And there you go, we have this, this sample here. I'm going to close my browser. Let's audition that. And let's hear everything together. So I think it would make sense to move that to somewhere else. So let's shrink this and move it towards this impact area here into the hit. And what we can also do is go one level deeper. So we have the sample browser here, and what you can do is select each of these parts, either rise, hit, or whoosh, and then you can browse and get something else. So right now we see that flanged air. Let's find something intense, air bubble. And double click, there you go. Let's audition that. So it is mirrored here from before. Let's unmirror, and you'll see that we have the impact back. Let's audition. And now everything, including all the other layers. So, but that's not all. We have modulations and we have effects. So let me show you that. First of all, let's go to the modes, and we have 4 modulation slots, and we can select for each of them the type of modulations. We have reverb, volume, high pass, low pass, but you can click here and change this, for example, for pitch. And then you can decide what will be the thing that will modulate. So we will modulate the pitch with, for example, LFO1. So we have LFO1 here, and we can change this to a sine. We can also change the timing here, so we can do this like 8. And now we can assign this first mode to any position here. So we can just click this first one. Let's audition. And without. And with. Right, and once we set this, it's important to know that once we set the LFO, the LFO1 will serve us with the other modulation. So we can click here and select, for example, the distortion, and then we can set this to LFO1, and now that will be modulated as well. So this is the mode 2. Let's assign that as well. And as you can see, the modulations work for both the rise and the hit. They're assigned here. And then next we also have effects. So let's have a quick look at that. We have several effects here. Some of them you will recognize from native instruments. We have the EQ here, but we have screamer, we have flare, stereo, delay, reverb. Let's add a delay. And now let's click this, and you'll see all the different controls. Well, usual stuff that you would find in inside a delay. And let's do this as a ping pong. And what you're seeing now is that we are affecting this first layer, this first rise. And if I'll select a different slot here, now I'm affecting the second one. So for each of these parts, you will be able to assign different effects. This is really, really great. A lot of flexibility. If you're looking for that perfect hit impact, that's really amazing stuff. Right, so that's the effects. Let's see some more. So we also have the reverb. Let's turn it on and have a listen. Pretty cool. And next we also have master effects. So you can set this for everything. So the overall sound will be affected by all of these. So we have in EQ, we have phases here, we have choral, saturator, we have compressor, stereo, delay, and so on. So I can turn on the global reverb, and let's listen. Nice one. And then more stuff that we have is the in-depth edit mode. So when you click this edit, you'll get a bunch of options like a low high cut. This is a kind of a tilt EQ that we can use, or sorry, sort of a filter. And then we have pitch, and we also have this tail that will help us get a little bit more of that sound. We have speed. We can change the speed, we can change the pitch, and so on. So you can see that we have the same controls for the rise and for the hit. A lot of flexibility here. So what I'm thinking now, let's go and listen to more of Phoenix and get to know more of the sounds. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions or anything, I'm sure this is going to be a really fun tool for cinematics and trailer creators. And of course, if you like the video so far, hit the like, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Let's do some demos.